everyone, hope everybody is doing good and having a very good day. So I am back. So my name is Swathi from CodeKaroYaaro International Kids Coding School, and today I'm gonna teach you about the importance of testing and debugging. So before learning about testing and debugging, let us just revise whatever we did in the last class. Okay, so in the last session I taught you about how to add media and audios into your Thunkable projects. Okay, I hope everybody did their homework by adding the videos and everything. Okay, so today's concept is about app testing and debugging. Now, what is this testing and what is this debugging? Is it anything different? Like, is testing is equal to debugging, or is it different concept? Let me just teach you in a very detail. But before that one, there is an important thing in every coding part that is called as making mistakes, right? So there is nobody perfect in this entire world. So whoever is writing the code, they will be doing like some minute mistakes and everything. But technically, we don't call it as mistakes, we call it as errors. Okay, ERROR. Okay, so it's called as error. Now, is it the only name we have for the mistakes which we make? No. So sometimes we call it as bugs, sometimes we call it as errors, and sometimes we call it as exception. So all these three terms refers to a single topic which is called as a mistake which we done in the code. Okay, now, so I think you have understood what is the meaning of error and how many types we can say error in technically. So we call it as errors, bugs, and you can also say exception. Okay, so these three all the terms which we are going to learn. Now the next thing is, as I told you, testing, debugging. Is it different or is it similar? Let me tell you. So testing is nothing but once you have completed your entire project, you are going to test your application whether it is working properly or not. So for example, if you are doing a project completely based on a quiz one, okay, so let us take an example quiz. So what will happen is, when you are running the code, you will check. So when you are clicking on a particular concept, whether it is going to that particular screen or is it going to any other screen. So when you are clicking on the correct answer, is it giving you green color backdrop and it is moving to the next question, or is it giving some other color or some other output and it is going to the next screen? So that is called as testing. Testing is nothing but we are going to check whether our platform or our application or our game or anything website is working properly or not. Okay, so based on the requirements which we have, we are going to design an application or the game or anything, and we will check whether it is working properly or not. That is called as testing. Okay, so now I think we have a clear clearance about testing. Now what is this debugging? So let me tell you, debugging we will also call it as exception handling. Okay, so no need to tell it in a lengthy way. Exception handling not needed, you will be learning in UGs and PGs. So we will just learn about debugging. Okay, we will just call the term as debugging. Now what is this debugging? Let me tell you. When you're completed an application, okay, the coding part, the designing part or anything, and if you find an error in that, okay, error is nothing but a mistake which you did. So we are going to find an error in the coding part or the designing part, or when you are testing it, you have found an error. Oh, it's not working properly. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to debug it. Okay, debugging is nothing but finding the error which we made in the code and then correcting the error is called as debugging. In a short way, correcting the errors which we made in the code is called as debugging. Understood? So that is the basic difference between testing and debugging. Testing is we are going to check whether our application is working properly or not. Debugging is if you are having any errors or bugs in the code or in the designing part, or while testing it you found some errors, we are going to check where we have the error and how to solve it. Okay, so if this error needs to be gone, what are the things which we need to take care of, what are the other lines which we need to write. Okay, so that is called as debugging. So I hope everybody understood about errors and testing and debugging. Now, why this topic is so important, testing and debugging? So is it so important to test an application whenever we complete one? Yes. So imagine that you are working in an organization, or you're creating a project by yourself, for your personal use, or you're creating an application for some other, like friends, maybe colleagues, or to a company, okay, which you want to sell the project. Okay, so when you have that, the user or the client will be giving some requirements to you, okay, the developer, the coder who is going to write the code and create an application. So they will be giving some requirements. My app should look like this. So these are the features which I needed in my application. So when I click on this particular button, it need to go to that particular page. Okay, and I should be able to send images, videos, GIFs, or zip files. Okay, or some of the clients will be also saying I need to be able to send what do we say, that sensitive messages, okay, like passwords and everything, which should be only seen to a particular person who I wanted to share. Even if I am sending it in the group, or even if anybody wants to hack it, they should not be able to see that. So all these requirements will be given from the client to the developer who is going to create that application. So when they are giving some requirements and all the other things to us, we should be able to write the code or create the application in such a way that the client satisfies. Okay, so yes, they have given some requirements. Yeah, I have did this code, this is that much, I cannot do anything more, and this is the basic thing which we have, and we are going to give it back to the client. Well, the client will be satisfied? No, right? So whenever a client is giving some requirements and all the other things, we should be able to create an application. And last thing, you should make sure that it is error free. Okay, and you have to give it to the client. And also, before giving to the client, you should check, you should test, you should debug it. Okay, that is very, very, very important. Okay, so we cannot say like testing is more important than debugging is more important than testing. Nothing like that. Both are equal. Why? Because if you are only testing the code and if you are giving to the client, even if there is errors in it, that is not going to satisfy the client. If you are having the errors and if you are testing it and if you are giving it to the client, even that is not going to satisfy the client. Okay, so once you create an application, you have to first test it, and if you are having any bugs, you have to debug it and you have to present it to the client. Okay, that is the correct procedure. Now, one more important thing I want to discuss about it. Updating your application is also very important. Okay, normally in this generation we will be having lot of applications. So if you see in the gaming part, or if you're seeing in the study part, or if you're seeing in any other, there are only application, electronic gadgets we will use for the Zoom meetings, or online classes and all the other things. Now, the most important thing, WhatsApp we have, right? So when they have created WhatsApp, it was a very, very, very old version. Okay, so if the programmer who created WhatsApp, so he will be saying like, yes, I have created WhatsApp, that's it, I'm not going to do anything else, people are using it, I don't want to make anything new changes in it. So will the people who is using it will be satisfied? No, right? So what they will do, every year or every 2 years once, they will try to update their application so that user can be able to experience new features, so that they will not lose interest on the application and they will not uninstall it. Okay, so even when you are creating an application, please once in a while you have to update. Okay, like update is nothing but adding some extra features to it, not everything at a once, but one by one at a time. It will really make your application look good. Okay, so these are all the topics which we are going to learn in today's class. I have already given all the things and everything, but what I will do is I'm just going to share my screen and I will just create a mini application, like a very small application, where I will be doing some errors and I will be testing it. And for some experience, okay, if you are doing an error, how it will be, how to debug it and everything. So I have given the entire data about what is errors, how to debug, what is debugging, what is updating an application. Okay, so these things are very important. That is why today's concept is app testing and debugging. Okay, so now without any delay, I'm going to share my screen and let us go to the project and let's create it. Okay, so wait, let me share my screen. Okay, so I think everybody can see my screen. So first let me go to Thunkable, and no need to sign in again and again. You can just directly log in once you have already signed in Thunkable application. So here, if you can see, I have already 10 projects. So if you want to create a new project, so you have to delete any one. Okay, like for example, I'm just gonna delete this hello world. Okay, and then click on I understand and click on delete. Okay, once you are deleted, your project is not coming back. Okay, we don't have any recycle bins or anything like that. Once it is deleted, it's gone. Or if you don't want to delete any application or a website or anything you have created, so you can just send it to your mobile phone using a USB drive. Or also you have another option, you have to log in using another account, and you can create a new 10 projects in that account. Okay, so now as we have discussed earlier, so we are going to learn about testing, debugging and upgrading the application. So let us take an example, the quiz which we have created. Okay, so if you want to do a new project, you can feel free to do it. So I'm just gonna take quiz, because this is a best example for adding any upgradations, or if you want to give any errors and debuggings and everything, this is gonna be a really good one. So now I will go to blocks. Okay, so for example, okay, I just made here, rather than making it green, I have made it red. Now this is the mistake which I did. It's a very small mistake. It's just gonna show you the color red, but it's gonna make it even more harder. Like for example, if I make it pink, so people will confuse, like, is that pink? So are we gone? Like, is it gone or it's a correct answer? So let's check with another. So it's gonna give another color. So here people will get confused. Now I'll go to designing part, and now I'm gonna preview it. Okay, let's go to welcome screen and let's preview it. So now I'm testing my application whether it is properly running or not. So testing requires each and everything. Okay, so first let me go for math. So it has to be perfect. So yeah, math question 1, it's showing good. 12 times 12 is equal to dash, and we are going to give the answer. So if you are selecting a wrong answer, yes, it is giving you a correct option. It is going to give you the correct showing. It's going to show you the correct thing, whether it is correct or wrong. Okay, now if I click on the math again, and now when I go to this one, and if I'm giving you correct answer, and it's gonna show me again the same thing. So here it's a small mistake which we did without testing it. If we have given this particular application, if you have published this application or the website or anything without testing it, that is going to be really bad, right? So when you're publishing the application, you are not the only one who is going to see this application, but most of the people will be seeing, and if they are seeing the same mistakes there, so they will get disappointed by the application which you have created. So now that is a testing, that is the benefit of testing. Now what is the benefit is nothing but when you're testing the application, you will get to know what you did a mistake or whether your application is running properly or not. Okay, that is the thing which we get to know when we are testing the application. Okay, that is most important thing. Now here testing requires each and every concept. Okay, means you should not only check for math question number 1, but should also check for math question number 1, option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, and also you have to get even the question you have to check whether the question whichever you have given is proper or not. Why? Because all the answers are like, you have given properly, options, everything correct. If the question is wrong, it's like, you know what will happen, right? So it is very important to check it thoroughly, okay? Each and every corner of your application should be tested, okay? And now that is testing. I hope everybody understood the meaning of testing. Now what is the second one I told you? Debugging and error finding, like, errors. So you found an error in the code, or you can also say you found a bug in the code. There is a bug in the code, okay? Or you can say that's an exception. So we can say bug or error or exception, anything. Now we found an error, we should not leave it like that, right? We have to correct it. So some of the, like, people, what will they do is, because of their laziness, or they're, like, not interested in creating an application, they will see the error, like, they will see the error and they will just let it go. That is not a feature of good developer, okay? So the project which you do should be appreciated by all the people who see that, all the people who use that, okay? They should give you a response where they have to be saying like, that is a good application, we don't find any bugs in that. So imagine in Play Store, okay? So you can see most of the games and most of the applications, they will be like, having a comment section like, there are a lot of bugs in the code, so we don't like to play this game or play this one when we see these many bugs in the code. So bugs, okay, errors will make your code, you will make your application bad, okay? So when you find an error, please fix it. Even if it is taking time to fix it, no problem, but please fix it. Without fixing, don't publish it, don't send it to anybody. Or if you have any questions in that, please consult someone who knows coding and they might help you, okay? But if you don't know how to do it and if you don't want to ask anyone, then please don't publish it. Why? Because I don't want you to suffer in that, okay? Like, even if you're publishing something, even if you're sharing that particular code to someone or anyone, they should be giving you a positive response, okay? So they can also say that is a bad application, no fault in that, it's not a mistake, but they should not say that is an error, there is an error in that code. Or they should not say like, the bug is irritating, okay, the code. So people will get easily irritated when they see a lot of mistakes in it, okay? So don't worry about it. If you see any error in that, try to fix it or consult anyone or faculty or any teacher and they will help you, okay? Now I'm just going to go to blocks and go to math question number 1 and I'm gonna fix the error by making it green. So now it is a very easy thing, error which we made, and we have fixed it. So now we have all the things whichever we needed. Now it is properly set, okay? We have tested it, we found an error, we debugged it, okay? So that are the most important things which each and every one of you have to do, not only in coding part but in real time also, okay? When you're doing some work, okay, a project maybe in coding or doing any other work, please test it, and then if you're finding any error, debug it, okay? So that is the basic thing. Now the next thing we have is updating. Now we have this quiz application, we have questions, math question 1, math question 2 and everything. Now how can we update it? Oh yeah, I got an idea. So I am going to add another screen and I'm going to go to a new tab. I'll not tell you now what I'm gonna do, so just check it out. Let's try to add a GIF. Now images, select, type URL, okay? repeat. Okay. Now you did a good work today. You deserve a cake. This one's for you. Now here I'm gonna add a button. Now I'll go to blocks. So normally what will happen when you're doing math question 1, question 2, and then you will go back to welcome screen, right? So I'll go to math question 2. Rather than going to the welcome screen, I will make it to go to screen 1, which is you did a good job. It's gonna show you like that. Now I'm gonna do the same thing for here. So English question number 2, once it is completed, go to screen 2, go to screen 2, go to screen 2. Now in screen 1, now go to start button we have. When go to start is clicked, go to control. I need navigation and also I need wait for 1 second, and now I'm gonna make it like go to screen 1. Oh no, we only have this much. Okay, now this is the thing which I did. Let's see now how it works. So I made a small upgradation. Hope everybody understood what I did over there. So I'm gonna click on this. I'll go to English. So Rahul is sitting dash Swathi and Pallavi. So between, yes, how many alphabets we have in English? 26. Now you good work today. You deserve a cake. This one's for you. Oh, and then go to start. We will go to the welcome screen. Now this is the small change which I did, but look how beautiful it is. Okay, upgrading is similar to this. You can design your application, but it is not necessary it to be staying the same way until you're designing a new project, not like that. Okay, so once you have designed it, try to upgrade it. Okay, that is a very good thing when you're creating an application. Okay, so it's not only for the application but also for what do we say that, for websites also, for games also, for any other thing also which in a coding part. Once you have did that, you can upgrade it. Okay, try to add something new to it so that it could look even more prettier, even more attractive. Okay, even more good looking. Okay, those are all the things which we need to keep in mind when you're creating the project. Okay, so this is about finding the error and then testing it, debugging it, upgrading your application or website or game. Okay, now I hope everybody understood what is the importance of testing and debugging, and also what is the importance of upgrading your application, and what are the other names we have for the errors. So error, exception, or also we can call it as bugs. Okay, so thank you for today. I hope everybody understood what I told you. Bye bye, see you in the next video.